Your life changes the moment you finally decide to stop drifting and start showing up for the person you said you'd become. That one line hits because you know it's true. Distractions, doubt, noise, people who don't understand your direction, habits that pull you down even when you want to rise. If you're here right now, it means you're tired of watching yourself fall short of your own potential. You're tired of feeling unfocused. You're tired of knowing there's a better version of you waiting and still not stepping into it. This video is your turning point. Today, you're going to learn how to cut the noise, sharpen your mind, and build real discipline. Not for a day, not for a week, but for your actual future. This message will show you what it takes to stay committed, stay aware, and stay loyal to the person you promised yourself you'd be. Stay right here. This might be the moment your life finally starts moving in the direction you've been wishing for. Number 1. Decide who you want to become today. Every person reaches a point where they look at their life and ask a simple question. Am I building the person I promised myself I would be? Not the person someone else wanted. Not the person shaped by pressure or doubt. The person you said you would become when you were honest with yourself. That is where real change begins. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Because today is the only day you can use. Yesterday is done, and tomorrow is not here. The moment you decide who you want to become, your mind begins to move in a new direction. You no longer drift through the day. You start shaping it. People wait for the right moment. They hope for better conditions. But life does not wait. The clock moves, whether you move or not. And the truth is simple. A person becomes stronger the moment they choose a clear path. You cannot rise without making that decision. You cannot grow without a clear picture of the person you want to be. So today I want you to stand in your own truth. If you desire a better life, start by defining the person living it. Think of the qualities you want inside yourself. Not grand ideas that sound good, but the real qualities that change your decisions and change your future. Do you want to be disciplined? Then decide today that discipline matters. Do you want to be focused? Then decide today that your attention is valuable. Do you want to be honest with yourself? Then decide today that excuses have no place in the life you want. This is not about pressure. It is about responsibility. The world will always pull you in different directions. You will always face noise. You will always face doubts and temptations. But a solid decision about who you want to become cuts through that noise. It gives you clarity. It gives you strength. When you know the type of person you want to be, you can see which actions belong to your future and which actions hold you back. Many people know what they want. Fewer people decide to live in a way that earns it. Decision is the root of character. It is the start of a new life. When I was young, I wanted change. I wanted growth. But nothing happened until I stood up inside myself and said, I will not live in conflict anymore. I will not pretend anymore. I will define the person I want to be and begin to walk in that direction. That one thought opened the door to everything that followed. Today you can do the same. You can choose strength over weakness. You can choose maturity over avoidance. You can choose courage over fear. You can choose direction over confusion. The choice makes you. Picture yourself waking up tomorrow. What kind of person steps out of bed? What habits does this person follow? How does this person handle stress? How does this person speak? How does this person work? How does this person show up for important moments? Those answers create the blueprint for your day. Without that picture, your mind wanders. You drift. You react to every impulse. And life becomes a cycle with no growth. But when you decide who you want to become, the cycle ends and a new path begins. Deciding who you want to become also forces you to be honest. If you say you want success but act in ways that waste your time, your decision is not real. If you say you want better health but treat your body with no care, the decision is not real. If you say you want peace but surround yourself with conflict, the decision is not real. The mind needs consistency. When your decision and your actions line up, your confidence rises. You feel stronger because you know you are living your truth. Humans grow when they decide to grow, not when someone pushes them, not when life forces them. Growth that lasts always starts with the individual. When you decide to become a better version of yourself, something powerful happens. Your thoughts shift, your energy shifts, your environment slowly shifts. People around you notice the change. You begin to attract better people and better opportunities because your character is changing from the inside. You may feel fear when making this decision. Fear that you will fail. Fear that you will lose comfort. Fear that others will not understand. But fear only grows when you allow it to guide your actions. When you choose a clear identity, fear becomes smaller because your purpose becomes larger. You are not wandering anymore. You are building, and building gives you strength. Today is your moment to define the qualities you want. Not 20 qualities. Start with 3. 3 qualities that represent the future you want to live. Maybe you want to be responsible. Maybe you want to be confident. Maybe you want to be disciplined. Choose 3 and make them the center of your daily behavior. Every decision becomes easier when you compare it to the person you want to become. If an action does not fit that person, you remove it. This is also where self-respect begins. When you decide who you want to be and act according to that decision, you start respecting your own time, your own energy, and your own path. You stop apologizing for wanting better. You stop shrinking yourself to fit old patterns. You stop fighting with your own progress. Self-respect is earned by living in alignment with the person you choose to become. Many people hide behind confusion. They say they do not know what they want, but deep inside they do know. They know the version of themselves they admire. They know the habits that would make them proud. They know the changes that would bring them peace. They know the actions that would bring them closer to the life they want. They just fear the responsibility that comes with that truth. But nothing is heavier than a life lived with regret. A strong decision removes that weight. You stand at a turning point today. You can continue the old path, or you can begin the process of becoming the person you promised yourself you would be. And you do not need a dramatic moment. You do not need a powerful speech. You need a clear decision and a quiet commitment. A decision made inside the mind can reshape every part of your life. Think of how you spend your free time. Think of how you handle stress. Think of how you treat your body. Think of how you speak to yourself. Think of how you use your attention. Think of how you show up. These small areas are where identity is built. When you know who you want to become, you start shaping each of these areas with intention instead of impulse. I want you to feel something important. You are not stuck. You are not limited. You are not too late. You are one decision away from a new direction. And the first direction you choose is internal. Decide who you want to become. Decide what matters to you. Decide the values you will live by. Decide the standards you refuse to lower. Decision creates strength. Strength creates action. Action creates change. Change creates a new life. You have one day in front of you. That day begins with choice. And that choice begins with your identity. Decide who you want to become today and start walking in that direction with clear eyes and steady steps. A better future does not come from hope. It comes from a decision like this. A decision made today. A decision that belongs to you. Number 2, cut distractions that keep you feeling stuck. Distractions are not small problems in your day. They shape how you think, how you act, and how you feel. When you keep getting pulled away from your goals, your mind slowly loses its sense of direction. That is why cutting distractions is not about being strict or harsh with yourself. It is about protecting your growth. It is about freeing your mind so you can finally move forward. Most people stay stuck, not because they lack ability, but because their attention is constantly scattered. And when your attention is scattered, your progress becomes slow and your confidence begins to drop. You start doubting yourself, not because you are incapable, but because distractions are consuming your energy before you ever get to use it. Take a moment and look at your own life with honesty. Think about the things that pull you away from what truly matters. Think about the habits that drain your time without giving anything back. Think about the people who constantly interrupt your focus. Think about the way your environment nudges you toward things that waste your day. These distractions may seem harmless, but they add up. They steal your rhythm. They interrupt your momentum. They take away the mental space you need to grow. when you do not control your attention, the world around you will control it for you. Some distractions are loud and obvious. Others are quiet and sneaky. The quiet ones are the most dangerous because they disguise themselves as harmless moments. You check your phone for a few minutes. You scroll through something that gives you no value. You get lost in conversations that lead nowhere. You jump between tasks with no real plan. Suddenly, an hour disappears. Then, 2. Then the day is gone. And all you have left is a sense of disappointment. This is how people get stuck. Not from major failures, but from the slow and steady pull of daily distractions. Cutting distractions requires a level of honesty many people avoid. It forces you to face where your time is going. It forces you to admit that some of your habits are holding you back. It forces you to take responsibility for how you shape your day. But once you do this, you begin to feel something powerful. You begin to regain control. You begin to feel stronger. You begin to feel clear. You begin to feel capable again. You cannot build the person you promised yourself you would be while allowing every distraction to pull you off course. Growth demands focus. Focus demands intention. Intention demands a clean environment. And a clean environment is created by removing anything that keeps you stuck in old patterns. When you cut distractions, you give yourself a chance to succeed. Not by luck, not by hope, by design. Start with the biggest distraction in your life. The one you know is eating your time and weakening your progress. It might be your phone. It might be social platforms. It might be constant noise around you. It might be people who drain your energy. It might be habits that feel comfortable, but do nothing for your growth. Identify that distraction and create a firm boundary around it. No one grows without boundaries. No one improves while being pulled in every direction. Your attention is the most valuable thing you have. It shapes how you think. It shapes how you feel. It shapes what you become. If your attention is controlled by distractions, then your future is controlled by distractions. But if you take control of your attention, you reclaim your future. This is why cutting distractions is not just about productivity. It is about freedom. It is about mental clarity. It is about emotional strength. It is about building a life you can be proud of. When you begin removing distractions, you will feel the difference. Your mind feels lighter. Your thoughts become sharper. You start finishing what you start. You feel more prepared for the day. You become more aware of your decisions. You stop wasting energy on things that do not move you forward. You stop feeling overwhelmed by tasks because your attention is not scattered anymore. You start experiencing actual progress, not just wishing for it. There is something deeply empowering about creating a space where your goals can breathe. When you silence the noise, you begin hearing your own thoughts again. You start seeing your true priorities. You begin noticing patterns you never saw before. You recognize how much time you used to waste. You realize how much more capable you are when you give yourself a chance to focus. This realization alone can change the direction of your life. Cutting distractions also strengthens your discipline. Every time you resist a pull that leads nowhere, you develop a stronger mind. You prove to yourself that you can direct your attention. You prove to yourself that you can follow through. Discipline is built through choices made in quiet moments. Each time you choose focus over distraction, you become more aligned with the person you want to become. Some people think they can keep distractions and still grow. But growth does not happen in a chaotic environment. You need space. You need clarity. You need stillness. You need focus. When your life is crowded with distractions, you have no room to rise. When you remove those distractions, your potential begins to expand. You start thinking bigger. You start acting with more confidence. You start believing in your ability to change. Every person who has ever changed their life started by cutting something out, something that held them back, something that took too much from them, something that kept them from seeing what they were capable of. You must do the same. You cannot build a strong future while holding on to things that weaken you. You cannot grow while feeding your distractions more than your goals. Your life improves when you choose what deserves your attention and what does not. The moment you cut distractions, you open the door to better habits. You create space for learning. You create space for discipline. You create space for improvement. You create space for reflection. You create space for growth. You begin living with intention instead of impulse. And when you live with intention, your life changes one decision at a time. Today is your chance to take control again. Look at your life with clear eyes. Notice what keeps you stuck. Notice what interrupts your focus. Notice what pulls you away from the path you want. And make a firm decision to release it. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Your future self will thank you for every distraction you remove. Your confidence will rise. Your progress will grow. Your vision will sharpen. You deserve a life that moves forward. You deserve to feel strong and clear. You deserve to see your goals turning into reality. But that requires attention. And attention requires boundaries. Cut the distractions that keep you feeling stuck, and you will begin to feel yourself stepping into a stronger version of you. A version that is focused, a version that is intentional, a version that is ready to build the person you promised yourself you would be. Number 3, build actions that match your honest goals. Many people talk about goals. They talk about the life they want. They talk about the changes they hope for. They talk about their plans and dreams, but when you look at their daily actions, nothing lines up with what they say they want. This is where frustration comes from. This is where people start doubting themselves. Not because they lack potential, but because their actions are working in the opposite direction of their goals. If you want progress, your actions must match what you say you want. And the moment you begin doing this, everything in your life starts to shift. You cannot build confidence without alignment. You cannot build strength without alignment. You cannot build a better future without alignment. Alignment means your choices support your goals, not sabotage them. It means you act in a way that reflects what matters to you. It means you stop saying one thing and doing another. When your actions match your honest goals, you finally feel a sense of direction. You begin to feel stable inside. You begin to trust yourself again. Start by asking a direct question. What do you truly want? Not what looks impressive, not what sounds nice, not what others expect. What do you honestly want for your own life? This level of honesty can feel uncomfortable because it exposes the gap between your wishes and your action. But you cannot grow without addressing that gap. Once you know what you truly want, you can build actions that support it. Your honest goals are the goals that matter to your heart. The ones that feel right even when they are difficult. The ones that bring meaning to your life. The ones that create a sense of direction when you think about them. These are the goals you must build your actions around. Your life changes when you stop lying to yourself about what you want. When you know your real goals, break them into actions you can do each day. Not giant tasks that overwhelm you. Simple actions that move you forward step by step. If you want better health, create actions that support that decision. If you want financial stability, build actions that strengthen your habit. If you want emotional peace, build actions that protect your well-being. No goal becomes real without supporting actions. The smallest effort done daily carries more power than the biggest intention that never becomes action. Most people get stuck because they keep waiting for motivation to show up. They wait to feel ready. They wait for the perfect moment. But waiting does not build anything. Action builds everything. Action creates momentum. Action gives you proof that you can change. And once you feel that proof, your confidence grows stronger. Think about your daily routine. Every day is filled with choices that either push you closer to your goals or pull you away from them. When you ignore these choices, your life becomes unpredictable. When you take control of them, your life becomes intentional. You start waking up with clarity. You start moving through the day with purpose. You stop wasting time on things that bring nothing to your future. Building actions that match your honest goals also means adjusting your environment. You cannot reach serious goals in an environment built for comfort and distraction. You need surroundings that support your progress. That may mean organizing your space. That may mean removing certain behaviors. That may mean distancing yourself from people who constantly pull you off track. Your environment shapes your habits, and your habits shape your results. If you want your actions to match your goals, Build an environment that makes the right actions easier. Another important part of this process is consistency. 1 day of effort will not change your life. 10 days of effort will not change your life. The daily effort over time creates a transformation you can feel. Consistency does not mean perfection. It means commitment. Commitment to show up even when you do not feel like it. Commitment to keep going even when the progress feels slow. Commitment to follow through because your goals matter to you. Your actions become powerful when they are repeated. Repetition builds habits. Habits build character. Character shapes your destiny. When your actions match your goals long enough, your goals feel closer. Your identity feels stronger, and your future feels more possible. You begin to experience progress in small but meaningful ways. You speak differently. You think differently. You behave differently. You stop chasing results and start becoming the person who naturally earns them. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to do everything at once. They try to rebuild their entire life in a week. They try to master new habits overnight. They try to push too hard too fast, and when they cannot keep up, they quit. But you do not need to change everything. You need to change the actions that matter most. The actions that support your honest goals. Those actions create the strongest foundation for growth. Real growth happens in the simple choice. The choice to get up early. The choice to spend time wisely. The choice to improve your skills. The choice to take care of your body. The choice to speak honestly. The choice to stay focused when your mind wants comfort. These choices are small, but they create a life you can be proud of. When your actions match your goals, you also experience a deeper sense of peace. You stop feeling torn between what you want and what you do. You stop living with internal conflict. You stop carrying the stress of broken promises. You begin feeling aligned, and nothing is more powerful than a mind that feels aligned with its actions. If you want to build the life you imagine, you must build actions that earn it. You do not drift into success. You do not stumble into growth. You create it through daily choice. Every action you take forms a brick in the life you are building, and the quality of your actions determines the quality of your future. Start right where you are. Choose one goal. Choose 3 actions that support that goal. Do those actions daily. Keep them simple. Keep them clear. Keep them honest. Soon you will notice something important. You begin to trust yourself again. You begin to believe in your ability to change. And once you believe, everything else becomes possible. Your life becomes stronger when your actions reflect what you value. Your goals become real when you support them with consistent effort. Your confidence becomes unshakable when you follow through, and your future becomes brighter when you build it through your choices instead of your wishes. You owe it to yourself to live in alignment with what you want. Not the version of you that makes excuses, not the version of you that avoids responsibility, the version that values growth, the version that respects your goals, the version that believes you deserve better. That version of you is built through action. Your honest goals are calling for you. They are waiting for your action. They are waiting for your commitment. They are waiting for you to step forward with intention. Build actions that match your honest goals, and your life will begin to move in the direction you have always wanted. 1 day at a time, 1 decision at a time, 1 action at a time. Number 4, strengthen your mind by choosing focused effort. Strengthening your mind begins with one simple truth. Your mind grows in the direction you train it to go. If you feed it scattered effort, it becomes scattered. If you feed it distraction, it becomes restless. But if you feed it focused effort, it becomes sharp, steady, and powerful. Most people never experience the full strength of their mind because they never give it sustained attention. They jump from task to task, thought to thought, emotion to emotion, without ever teaching their mind how to settle on what matters. A strong mind is not something you are born with. It is something you build through daily choices that shape the way you think and act. Focused effort is what separates growth from stagnation. When you choose to focus, even for a short period, you teach your mind that your goals deserve attention. You show yourself that you can direct your thoughts instead of letting the world control them. You build a sense of inner power that comes from knowing You can stay with something long enough to make progress. That is where confidence begins. Confidence does not start with praise or success. It starts with the quiet moment where you choose to give your full effort to one important thing. A strong mind is built through practice, just like a strong body. You cannot expect your mind to stay focused if you never train it. You cannot expect clarity if you constantly switch directions. You cannot expect discipline if you avoid effort. Every time you choose focused effort, you are training your mental muscles. You are teaching your mind to stay steady when distractions appear. You are teaching yourself to follow through when things get challenging. This training becomes one of the greatest assets you will ever build. Focused effort also changes the way you see your day. When you know how to direct your attention, everything becomes simpler. Tasks feel more manageable. Problems feel less overwhelming. Goals feel more reachable. You stop feeling scattered because your mind is not pulled in 100 directions. You begin feeling grounded. You begin feeling purposeful. You begin feeling capable of taking on challenges that once felt impossible. Many people underestimate the impact of small periods of focused work. They think strength is built through massive effort, but mental strength is built through consistent effort. Even 10 minutes of pure focus, repeated daily, can transform your ability to think clearly. It teaches your mind that you decide where your attention goes. It teaches you that effort matters more than mood. Mood changes, circumstances shift, but effort is your choice. Focus is your choice. And the more you practice choosing it, the stronger your mind becomes. To strengthen your mind, you must first remove the belief that focus should feel easy. Focus is not about comfort. It is about commitment. There will be moments when your mind tries to wander, moments when you feel restless, moments when you crave something easier. These moments are where strength is built. When you stay with your task during discomfort, your mind grows. When you resist the urge to escape, your discipline increases. When you finish what you start, your belief in yourself expands. Choosing focused effort also improves your emotional health. A scattered mind often leads to stress, because you feel like you are always behind. You feel overwhelmed because your thinking is all over the place. But a focused mind gives you space to breathe. You become more patient. You become calmer. You become more aware of your actions. You become more in control of your emotions, because your mind is not bouncing from one place to another. One of the most powerful ways to strengthen your mind is to choose one important task and give it your complete attention. No multitasking, no switching, no checking anything else, just full effort. When you do this, you teach your brain the value of depth. Deep effort leads to deep result. When you train your mind to go deep into one task, you produce better work, learn faster, and develop the ability to handle challenges without breaking down. Focused effort also helps you uncover your true ability. When you give your full attention to something, you begin to see what you are capable of. You start discovering strengths you did not know you had. You start unlocking potential that was buried under layers of distraction. You begin proving to yourself that your mind is far stronger than you thought. This sense of discovery builds a strong sense of identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who follows through, someone who can handle difficulty, someone who can grow. Another important part of building a strong mind is learning to manage your thoughts. Thoughts will come and go, but you do not have to follow every one of them. A strong mind knows how to observe thoughts without letting them take over. When you train your mind through focused effort, you learn to push aside unhelpful thoughts and stay with the task. You learn to choose thoughts that support your goals instead of believing every doubt or fear that appears. This ability to guide your thinking is one of the greatest signs of mental strength. You strengthen your mind by choosing effort over excuses. Excuses weaken your thinking. They convince you to settle. They convince you to avoid the work. They convince you to stay comfortable. But when you choose effort, even small effort, you build resilience. You build determination. You build a sense of personal strength. Your mind becomes a place of clarity instead of confusion. The next time you want to strengthen your mind, start simple. Choose one task. Set a short amount of time. Give it your full attention. Do not push yourself into exhaustion. Push yourself into consistency. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to prove to yourself that you can focus. You will be surprised how quickly your mind adapts. The more you practice this, the longer you can stay focused. The longer you stay focused, the faster you grow. And the faster you grow, the stronger you feel. As your mind gets stronger, you begin to approach life differently. You stop reacting to every little thing. You stop being pulled into unnecessary noise. You stop wasting time on things that do not matter. You become intentional. You become steady. You become someone who follows through because your mind is trained to support your goals. Strong mind is not loud. It is stable. It is clear. It is focused. It is guided by effort rather than impulse. You choose to focus because you know your future depends on it. You choose effort because you know ease leads nowhere. You choose clarity because you know confusion steals your potential. At some point, you begin to feel yourself rising above old habits. You begin to feel improvement in the smallest parts of your day. You begin to feel a new version of yourself forming from the inside. The world is full of distraction. There will always be things trying to pull you away from your goals. There will always be easy paths that offer comfort, but take nothing forward. But when you strengthen your mind through focused effort, those distractions lose their power. You see them clearly and choose different. You respond with intention instead of impulse. You become someone who knows how to think deeply, act clearly, and follow through. You deserve a strong mind. You deserve clarity. You deserve progress. You deserve the confidence that comes from knowing you can direct your attention toward what matters. And you build all of this through the simple act of choosing focused effort. Day by day, task by task, moment by moment. You strengthen your mind by training it, guiding it, and committing to it. And once your mind becomes strong, the rest of your life begins to rise with it. Number 5. Direct your time toward what truly matters. Directing your time toward what truly matters is one of the most important decisions you will ever make for your personal growth. Time is the one resource you cannot regain once it is gone. You can rebuild your income, repair your health, strengthen your relationships, and restart your goals. But you cannot reclaim wasted time. That is why learning to place your hours, your attention, and your energy into the right areas is a powerful turning point in your life. When you understand the value of your time, you stop treating it carelessly. You stop surrendering it to distractions, to people who drain you, and to habits that don't help you grow. You start seeing time as the foundation of your future. Every day, you are shaping your life through how you spend your time. The challenge is that many people have never been taught to guard their time. They move through their day, responding to whatever appears. They give hours to things that do not add meaning or progress. They say yes to tasks they don't believe in. They allow others to control their schedule, and then they wonder why they feel lost, overwhelmed, or unfulfilled. When your time is scattered, your life becomes scattered. When your time is directed, your life becomes intentional. To direct your time, you must understand what actually matters to you. This requires honest reflection. Think about the areas of your life that bring lasting fulfillment. Think about the actions that move your goals forward. Think about the habits that make you stronger. Think about the relationships that support your growth. These are the things that deserve your time, not for a day or a week, but continuously. When you begin placing your time into the right areas, your life starts to feel meaningful again. You stop drifting through your day and start living it with purpose. One of the greatest mistakes people make is giving their time to anything that demands it, instead of giving it to what deserves it. Not everything needs your attention. Not every conversation helps you grow. Not every opportunity aligns with your direction. When you try to do everything, you end up doing nothing well. Growth comes from choosing. Choosing what to keep, choosing what to release, choosing what to invest in, choosing what to walk away from. Directing your time is a form of self-respect. It shows that your life matters to you. When you decide what truly matters, you begin to notice how much time is lost each day to unnecessary habits. Many people lose hours to mindless entertainment, negative thinking, random scrolling, and meaningless routine. These habits slowly drain their motivation. They weaken their sense of purpose. They leave them feeling tired but unfulfilled. You cannot rise to the life you want while your time is being consumed by things that add no value to your future. The first step to reclaiming your life is reclaiming your time. Directing your time is not about filling every minute with tasks. It is about aligning your hours with your priorities. It is about choosing quality over noise. It is about giving your best energy to the areas that move your life forward. This means setting boundaries around your time. You must be willing to say no, not to be rude, but to protect your growth. A clear no to what doesn't matter is a strong yes to what does. Another important part of directing your time is becoming aware of your daily patterns. Many people underestimate how much time they lose in small moments. 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there, a little delay, a quick distraction. These may seem minor, but repeated over weeks and months, they create a life full of unfinished goals and empty progress. When you become conscious of how you use each part of your day, you begin to build structure. Structure gives you stability. Stability gives you momentum. Directing your time toward what matters also improves your emotional well-being. When your time is aligned with your values, you feel calmer. You feel more in control. You feel less stressed because your day follows a meaningful direction. You stop feeling guilty for wasting time. You stop feeling overwhelmed by your responsibilities. You stop feeling disconnected from your goals. You begin to experience a sense of balance and peace that comes from living with intention. There is something liberating about choosing how you spend your time instead of letting the world decide it for you. You start creating space for growth, space for learning, space for building new habits, space for strengthening your skills, space for resting in ways that restore you rather than drain you. Time becomes a tool instead of a burden. One powerful way to direct your time is to choose 3 daily priorities. These are the actions that matter most for your personal growth. When you start each day with clarity, you eliminate confusion. You stop wasting energy on things that do not matter. You stay grounded in your purpose. This simple practice trains your mind to focus on progress rather than distraction. Directing your time also requires honesty about the people around you. Not everyone respects your growth. Some people take your time without giving anything meaningful in return. Some people rely on you to solve problems they should solve themselves. You must protect your time from people who consistently pull you away from your goals. Surround yourself with those who respect your direction and encourage your improvement. Time spent with the right people strengthens you. Time spent with the wrong people weakens you. Another key part of directing your time is learning to finish what you start. Many people begin tasks with enthusiasm, but lose focus before completion. This creates mental clutter. It creates stress. It creates a sense of disorder. When you finish what you start, you build trust in yourself. You create a clean mental space. You free up energy for new goals. Completing tasks strengthens your sense of discipline. And discipline is the foundation of personal growth. When you direct your time toward what matters, you begin to notice that you no longer tolerate things that weaken your progress. You stop entertaining distractions. You stop wasting hours on empty routines. You stop giving energy to problems that do not belong to you. You grow more protective of your time because you understand how precious it is. You recognize that your time is shaping your future with every passing hour. Directing your time is not a temporary habit. It is a lifelong practice. There will be days when there will be days when life interrupts your plans, but the commitment to use your time wisely will always bring you back to your path. Over time, your choices compound. Your progress becomes visible. Your confidence increases. Your life slowly transforms because your time is being used with intention instead of carelessness. You deserve a life filled with meaning. You deserve to wake up with purpose. You deserve to spend your time on things that support your growth, your health, your goals, and your peace. Directing your time toward what truly matters is one of the greatest acts of responsibility you can take. It shows that you respect your life enough to invest in the areas that help you rise. Your future is built from the hours you spend today. Every meaningful achievement begins with the decision to spend time wisely. When you direct your time toward what matters, you create a life you can look back on with pride. A life built from clarity. A life guided by purpose. A life shaped by intentional effort. And a life that reflects the person you promised yourself you would become. Number 6. Challenge your patterns that hold you back. Every person carries patterns that shape their life, and many of those patterns were built long before they realized it. Some patterns help you grow, but others quietly hold you back. These limiting patterns show up in the way you think, the way you respond to stress, the way you handle responsibility, the way you deal with fear, and the way you approach your goals. If you never challenge these patterns, they become the silent force that controls your future. They keep you living the same days, repeating the same mistakes, and wondering why your life doesn't move forward. Real growth begins the moment you decide to confront these patterns instead of accepting them. Challenging your patterns requires honesty. You cannot fix what you refuse to face. You cannot rise above habits you keep defending. Many people say they want change, but they continue acting in ways that protect the very patterns holding them back. They avoid discomfort. They run from hard conversations. They repeat routines that keep them stuck. They tell themselves stories about why they can't change. And slowly, they build a life that reflects their patterns instead of their potential. Breaking these patterns means looking directly at the parts of your life that make you uncomfortable. Start by paying attention to your reaction. Patterns show themselves in your automatic responses. If your first reaction to challenge is to quit, that is a pattern. If you avoid responsibility when things get difficult, that is a pattern. If you talk yourself out of opportunities because you fear failure, that is a pattern. If you choose comfort over growth without thinking, that is a pattern. These responses are not your identity. They are habits shaped by old experiences, old fears, and old beliefs. When you bring them into awareness, you create the space needed to change them. The next step is understanding why these patterns exist. Most limiting patterns were created as a form of emotional protection. Maybe you failed once and developed a habit of avoiding challenges. Maybe someone doubted you and you began doubting yourself. Maybe you grew up in an environment where confidence was criticized, so you learned to shrink yourself. These patterns once served a purpose, but now they block your progress. You cannot grow into the person you want to become while carrying the weight of patterns built for a past version of you. Challenging them means acknowledging that you are no longer the person who needed those habits. Breaking patterns requires new choices. Every time you respond differently from your usual behavior, you weaken the old pattern. If you normally walk away from hard tasks, stay with them a little longer. If you normally avoid speaking up, express your thoughts with calm confidence. If you normally make decisions out of fear, make one decision out of courage. These small shifts create cracks in your old habit. Over time, those cracks widen until the old pattern loses its power. Change does not happen through intensity. It happens through repetition. The more you challenge a pattern, the weaker it becomes. Another key part of challenging your patterns is learning to question your thoughts. Many limiting beliefs feel true simply because you have repeated them to yourself for years. Thoughts like "I always fail," "I'm not good enough," or "I can't change" are patterns disguised as truth. A strong mind learns to challenge these thoughts instead of accepting them. When a limiting thought appears, ask yourself if it supports your growth. Ask yourself if it reflects your potential or your past. Ask yourself if it leads you forward or holds you still. When you begin questioning your thoughts, you take power away from the patterns they create. Challenging your patterns also means stepping into discomfort. Growth often begins where comfort ends. Many people stay stuck because they only operate within what feels safe. They avoid anything that threatens their routine. But safety is not always progress. Discomfort is not danger. Discomfort is the doorway to improvement. When you choose to step into situations that challenge your old habits, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than your patterns suggest. You build resilience. You build confidence. You build a new identity through action. You will notice that your patterns often show up during stress. Stress exposes your automatic behaviors. It reveals the areas where you lose control. This is why challenging patterns requires emotional awareness. When you feel stressed, slow down. Notice your first impulse. Notice how your body reacts. Notice the thoughts that appear. This awareness gives you the chance to choose a new response. You do not have to repeat the same reaction every time life becomes difficult. You can create new patterns that support your strength instead of feeding your fear. Another important step in challenging your patterns is surrounding yourself with the right influences. People who encourage growth inspire new patterns. People who keep you small reinforce old ones. If you want to break habits that hold you back, spend time with people who live with intention. People who pursue growth. People who push themselves. People who hold themselves accountable. Their mindset will challenge your excuses. Their actions will challenge your comfort. Their discipline will challenge your laziness. Your environment plays a major role in shaping your patterns. So choose an environment that supports your future, not your limitations. Challenging your patterns also requires forgiveness. Many people stay stuck because they blame themselves for old mistakes. They carry shame for behaviors they learned in survival mode. They punish themselves instead of allowing growth. But you cannot move forward while holding anger toward your past self. Forgiveness is not approval of old behavior. It is acceptance that you are learning. It is acknowledgement that you are evolving. When you forgive yourself, you release the emotional weight that keeps your old patterns alive. One of the most effective ways to challenge your patterns is to track your behavior. When you write down your actions, your thoughts, and your reactions, you begin to see the patterns clearly. You see your triggers. You see your weaknesses. You see the moments when you fall back into old habits. Tracking creates awareness, and awareness creates change. Over time, you will notice yourself responding differently, thinking differently, and behaving differently, because you have taken the time to understand your patterns instead of ignoring them. Challenging your patterns also requires patience. These habits did not form overnight, and they will not disappear instantly. There will be days when you fall back into old behavior. There will be moments when you feel frustrated. There will be times when the old pattern feels easier than the new one. But every effort you make weakens the hold of your past. Every new choice strengthens your future. Progress is not a straight line. It is a series of small steps taken with intention and persistence. You must also understand that challenging your patterns is not about perfection. It is about awareness and effort. Every time you choose a better action, you move forward. Every time you stop yourself from repeating a harmful habit, you grow stronger. Every time you challenge an old belief, you expand your potential. These changes may feel small, but they create a powerful transformation over time. You deserve a life that is not controlled by old patterns. You deserve to break free from habits that limit your growth. You deserve to think, act, and live in a way that reflects your potential instead of your past. Challenging your patterns is an act of courage. It is a statement that you refuse to settle. It is a commitment to becoming someone stronger, wiser, and more capable. Your future will be shaped by the patterns you create today. If you continue repeating the habits that hold you back, your life will stay the same. But if you challenge them with intention, your life will begin to transform. Growth starts with awareness. Progress starts with effort. Freedom starts with new choices. And your new life starts the moment you decide to challenge the patterns that have been limiting you for far too long. Number 7, train your discipline through daily personal promises. Discipline is not something you stumble into. It is something you train, shape, and strengthen through the promises you make to yourself each day. Not the big promises you announce to the world. The quiet promises you keep when no one is watching. The small commitments that build your character. The simple actions you repeat because you root your own word. Discipline grows from these personal promises. It grows from the moments when you choose follow-through over comfort, action over excuses, and responsibility over impulse. When you learn to keep promises to yourself, you begin to live with a sense of inner power that cannot be taken away. Many people talk about discipline as if it is something mysterious, something only a few gifted people possess. But discipline is simply the habit of keeping your own word. It is built from the decisions you make when you do not feel motivated. Motivation may start the journey, but discipline carries it to the finish line. Every day presents moments where you choose either growth or ease. These moments decide who you become. When you make a promise to yourself and honor it, you strengthen your identity. You start seeing yourself as someone who follows through. That identity becomes the foundation of a strong life. The reason personal promises are so powerful is because they form an agreement between you and your future. When you say you will do something and you do it, your self-trust rises, your confidence grows. You no longer doubt your ability to improve because you have evidence that you are capable of consistency. Most people struggle not because they lack ability, but because they do not trust themselves. They have broken their word too many times. They say they will change, but never follow through. This weakens their belief in their own strength. You rebuild that belief by keeping simple promises every day. Start small. Discipline does not grow from complicated plans. It grows from clear, manageable commitment. Choose one action that supports your growth. It could be waking up at a consistent time. It could be reading a few pages. It could be practicing a skill. It could be taking care of your health. It could be planning your day. The size of the action does not matter. The consistency does. When you keep the same promise every day, you create momentum. That momentum becomes your discipline. Daily personal promises also give your mind structure. When you start your day with a clear intention, you guide your energy instead of letting the day control you. You create a sense of direction that makes distractions less tempting. You begin replacing chaos with order. You stop reacting to everything and start acting with purpose. This shift changes the way you experience your day. You feel more grounded. You feel more capable. You feel more in control of your life. One of the most important parts of training discipline is learning to follow through even when your feelings shift. Feelings are inconsistent. They rise and fall without warning. If you only act when you feel like it, you will never build discipline. Personal promises teach you to act based on commitment, not emotion. When you honor your promise despite discomfort, you strengthen your mental toughness. You show yourself that you are not controlled by mood or impulse. You begin living based on choice rather than reaction. Your discipline grows even faster when you track your promises. When you write down what you commit to each day, you create accountability. You can see your patterns. You can see your progress. You can see your weak spot. Tracking allows you to recognize the days you were strong and the days you slipped. This awareness helps you improve. It also gives you a clear view of how far you have come. Many people underestimate the value of documenting their effort. But when you track your promises, you create a record of your discipline. That record becomes undeniable proof that you are changing. Training discipline also requires honesty. You cannot build strong habits while lying to yourself. If you break a promise, acknowledge it, not with shame, but with responsibility. Ask why you broke it. Ask what distracted you. Ask what you avoided. These questions reveal the patterns that weaken your discipline. When you understand your tendencies, you can adjust your action. Discipline grows when you stop hiding from your truth and start owning it. Another powerful part of personal promises is that they create internal leadership. You become someone who guides yourself rather than waiting for external pressure. You stop relying on others to push you. You stop waiting for perfect circumstances. You stop depending on motivation. You learn to move because you said you would. This is what separates strong individuals from the rest. They do not need to be forced. They lead themselves. As you continue training your discipline through personal promises, you will notice changes in other areas of your life. Your relationships improve because you communicate with more clarity. Your work improves because you follow through on your responsibility. Your health improves because you stop making excuses. Your mindset improves because you trust your ability to grow. This is the hidden power of discipline. It spills into every part of your life and raises the quality of everything you do. It's important to understand that discipline does not mean perfection. There will be days when you fall short. There will be moments when you feel tired. There will be times when you slip. What matters is how you respond. When you break a promise, do not abandon your commitment. Adjust and start again. This willingness to restart builds resilience. Resilience is a core part of discipline. It keeps you moving even when progress feels difficult. To train discipline even further, challenge yourself by increasing the difficulty of your personal promises once you master the basic ones. Add a new habit. Strengthen an old one. Push your limits slowly and steadily. Discipline grows when you stretch yourself without breaking yourself. Small increases in difficulty prevent comfort from taking over. They keep you sharp. They keep you improving. The most powerful benefit of daily personal promises is the transformation of your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who takes action, someone who honors their commitment, someone who does not quit. When your identity strengthens, your behavior naturally follows. You choose differently. You think differently. You approach challenges with more confidence. You no longer fear responsibility. You begin expecting more from yourself because you know what you are capable of. Imagine living each day knowing that you can rely on yourself, knowing that you show up when you need to, knowing that you finish what you start, knowing that you do not abandon your value. This is the gift of discipline. It gives you a stable foundation to build your life on. It gives you a sense of power that stays with you no matter what happens around you. Your future is shaped by the way you handle today. Every promise you keep becomes a brick in the life you are building. Every promise you break slows your progress. When you begin treating your promises as sacred, you build a strong and respectable version of yourself. A version you can trust. A version others can trust. A version that moves with confidence, clarity, and direction. You are the only one who can train your discipline. No one can do it for you. No one can force you to grow. No one can make you follow through. But once you decide to build your discipline through daily personal promises, you unlock a level of strength within you that changes everything. You become consistent. You become reliable.
You become focused, and you become capable of creating the life you once thought was out of reach. Discipline is built day by day, promise by promise, action by action. Train it with care, train it with honesty, train it with commitment. When you master this skill, you build the foundation for every other achievement in your life. You step into the version of yourself that is strong enough to become the person you promised you would be.
Number 8, check your behavior to stay mentally aligned. Staying mentally aligned is not something that happens by accident. It requires constant awareness of your behavior and the choices you make throughout your day. Your behavior is the clearest reflection of what is happening inside your mind. If your actions move in one direction while your values move in another, you create internal conflict. That conflict becomes stress. It becomes confusion. It becomes self-doubt. But when your behavior matches your intentions, you experience clarity. You feel steady. You operate with a sense of purpose instead of uncertainty. Checking your behavior is how you protect that alignment. Many people drift through life without ever questioning why they act the way they do. They repeat routines without thinking. They react to situations without awareness. They follow old habits without asking whether those habits still help them grow. But real progress demands awareness. You must watch the way you think, the way you respond, and the way you move through your day. Every moment of awareness brings you closer to the person you want to become. Every moment of unconscious behavior pulls you further away. Checking your behavior begins with observing your daily actions. Notice what you do when you feel stressed. Notice how you behave when you are tired. Notice your tone when you speak. Notice how you handle pressure. Notice the choices you make when no one is watching. These small moments reveal your true patterns. They show you the areas where you are aligned and the areas where you need improvement. Alignment is not about perfection. It is about awareness and correction. When you stay aware of your behavior, you begin catching yourself in moments when you would normally repeat old habits. You notice when you start slipping into negativity. You notice when you avoid responsibility. You notice when you choose comfort instead of growth. This awareness gives you the power to redirect yourself in real time. Instead of falling into automatic reactions, you step into intentional responses. This shift may seem small, but it creates a massive difference in your mental strength. Staying mentally aligned also means checking whether your behavior matches your goals. If you want to improve your life, but your actions contradict that desire, you sabotage your own progress. Many people feel confused because they say they want one thing but behave in ways that lead them elsewhere. They want improvement but choose convenience. They want success but choose avoidance. They want peace but choose behaviors that create stress. Your behavior either supports your goals or fights against them. Checking it daily keeps you on track. Another part of staying mentally aligned is observing how you treat yourself. The way you speak to yourself matters. If your behavior includes constant self-criticism or harsh judgment, you weaken your mindset. You cannot grow while attacking your own confidence. Checking your behavior means paying attention to your internal dialogue. When you notice thoughts that tear you down, you correct them, not with empty positivity, but with truth. You remind yourself of your potential. You speak with honesty and respect. You guide your mind back into balance. Checking your behavior also means being honest about the habits that drain you. Some habits feel comfortable, but slowly weaken your discipline. They interrupt your momentum. They steal your focus. They distract you from progress. You must recognize these habits and question them. Ask yourself if they support your growth. Ask yourself if they help you stay aligned with your goals. If they do not, you adjust them. You replace them with habits that bring you closer to the life you want. Growth happens when you take responsibility for your behavior instead of blaming circumstance. Another powerful aspect of staying mentally aligned is observing your emotional reactions. Emotions are natural, but they can pull you away from your goals if you let them control your behavior. When you feel anger, notice it. When you feel fear, acknowledge it. When you feel doubt, observe it. Giving emotion your awareness prevents it from running your decisions. You can feel something without acting on it. This is a sign of mental strength. When you pause before reacting, you create space to choose a better response. Checking your behavior also helps you protect your values. Your values represent the core of who you are. They guide your decisions. They shape your relationships. They influence your long-term vision. But values lose power when your behavior ignores them. If you value honesty, act with honesty.
If you value health, act in ways that support your body. If you value growth, act in ways that move you forward. Staying aligned with your values brings peace because your actions match your identity. One of the most important reasons to check your behavior is that your mind needs consistency. When your actions and intentions don't match, your mind becomes divided. You begin to lose trust in yourself. But when your behavior reflects your goals, your mind becomes stronger. You start believing in your ability to follow through. You stop feeling guilty for your decision. You develop confidence that comes from living with integrity. Integrity is alignment between who you want to be and how you behave. Another benefit of checking your behavior is that it prevents small mistakes from turning into long-term habits. Everyone slips. Everyone makes poor choices at times. But the difference between growth and stagnation lies in how quickly you correct those slips. When you notice your behavior shifting in the wrong direction, you adjust immediately. You do not wait for things to get worse. You do not ignore the sign. Awareness allows you to redirect yourself before damage happens. This ability to correct early is one of the strongest skills a person can develop. Checking your behavior is also a form of emotional responsibility. It forces you to take ownership of your reactions instead of blaming others. When you see that your actions are out of alignment, you do not point outward. You look inward. You ask yourself what triggered the behavior. You ask yourself what you can learn from it. This mindset turns mistakes into lessons instead of obstacles. It turns setbacks into guidance. It turns challenges into growth. Another powerful benefit of staying mentally aligned is improved relationships. When you check your behavior, you become more aware of how you treat people. You notice when you speak with impatience. You notice when you shut down communication. You notice when you allow frustration to guide your tone. This awareness improves your connection with others. You show up with more clarity, more respect, and more understanding. Strong relationships are built by individuals who understand themselves. Checking your behavior also strengthens your ability to stay consistent. Consistency comes from knowing when you are living in alignment and when you are drifting. When you monitor your actions, you catch inconsistency early. You keep yourself accountable. You stay true to your commitment. You build a stable pattern of behavior that supports long-term growth. There will be days when alignment feels difficult. There will be moments when you fall into old habits. There will be times when your behavior does not match your intention. But checking your behavior daily helps you return to your path faster. Growth is not about avoiding mistakes. It is about correcting them quickly and continuing forward with a clear mind. You deserve a life where your actions reflect your values. You deserve to feel mentally steady. You deserve to live with clarity and confidence. Staying mentally aligned is not about being perfect. It is about being aware. It is about guiding your behavior with intention. It is about recognizing when you drift and choosing to return to your purpose. Your mind becomes stronger every time you check your behavior. Your life becomes clearer every time you align your actions, and you become a better version of yourself every time you choose awareness over autopilot. Staying mentally aligned is a daily practice, and it is one of the most powerful skills you can develop as you build the person you promised yourself you would be.
Number 9. Remove influences that weaken your self-belief. Your self-belief is one of the most important things you will ever protect. It determines how you think, how you act, and how far you allow yourself to go in life. When your belief in yourself is strong, you take risks that help you grow. You make decisions with confidence. You stand up for your goals. You push through fear. But when your self-belief is weakened, everything becomes harder. Doubt creeps in. You hesitate. You hold yourself back. You trade your potential for comfort because you don't trust your own ability. Self-belief does not disappear on its own. It becomes weakened by the influences you allow into your life. People, habits, environments, and even thoughts that slowly drain your strength. Removing these influences is not selfish. It is necessary. Many people do not realize how much their environment shapes their confidence. You may think you struggle because you lack ability, but the real issue may be the voices you listen to, the patterns you tolerate, and the energy you allow around you. If you spend too much time with people who criticize you, you begin to question yourself. If you listen to negativity every day, your mind becomes heavy. If you entertain thoughts that tear you down, you start believing them. Removing influences that weaken your self-belief is not about creating a perfect life. It is about preventing your confidence from being poisoned. Start by noticing how you feel around the people in your life. Some people encourage your growth. They uplift you. They challenge you in healthy ways. They make you feel capable. Others do the opposite. They mock your goals. They bring drama. They discourage ambition. They speak to you in ways that make you shrink. These people often do it so casually that you barely notice the effect, but your mind feels drained after interacting with them. Pay attention to this exhaustion. It is a sign that your self-belief is being weakened. Removing negative influences does not always mean cutting people out completely. Sometimes it means creating distance. Sometimes it means limiting conversations. Sometimes it means protecting your time. Sometimes it means refusing to share your dreams with those who don't support them. You don't owe everyone access to your mind. You owe yourself protection. Another influence that weakens self-belief is constant comparison. When you compare your progress to someone else's highlight moments, you create a false image of failure. You forget your own journey. You overlook your strengths. You convince yourself that you are behind when in reality, you are simply different. Comparison drains confidence because it forces you to measure your worth by someone else's path. You may not realize how deeply comparison influences your thinking until you step away from it. Reducing comparison gives your mind space to appreciate your own growth without judgment. Social platforms can also weaken your self-belief if you use them without awareness. They expose you to unrealistic expectations. They flood you with opinions that do not matter. They push you into searching for validation instead of self-respect. If you constantly seek approval from a screen, you weaken your inner voice. Reducing this influence gives you the chance to reconnect with your own values. It allows you to listen to yourself rather than the noise of strangers. Your habits can also hurt your self-belief. When you repeatedly break promises to yourself, your confidence suffers. When you avoid uncomfortable tasks, you begin to label yourself as someone who cannot handle difficulty. When you procrastinate constantly, you tell your mind that you cannot be trusted with responsibility. These habits weaken your belief, not because they are failures, but because they become repeated messages to your mind. Removing these habits by replacing them with small, consistent actions strengthens your inner trust. Another subtle influence that weakens self-belief is negative self-talk. Your mind listens to your words more than anyone else's. If you speak to yourself with doubt, you eventually believe it. If you criticize yourself harshly, you limit your potential. If you constantly tell yourself you are not ready or not capable, you train your mind to accept mediocrity. Removing negative self-talk does not mean pretending everything is perfect. It means speaking to yourself with honesty, respect, and encouragement. It means correcting harmful thoughts before they turn into beliefs. Your environment also shapes yourself. A cluttered space creates mental noise. A chaotic schedule creates stress. A lack of structure makes you feel out of control. When your environment is unhealthy, your mind becomes heavy. Removing these influences by creating order, even in small ways, helps your mind feel grounded. A clean space gives you clarity. A structured routine gives you direction. A calm environment strengthens your confidence because it reduces internal tension. Another influence that weakens your belief is holding on to the opinions of people who do not understand your goal. Not everyone is meant to support your journey. Some people see your ambition as a threat. Some people feel uncomfortable when you grow because it forces them to confront their own choices. Some people project their fears onto you. If you internalize these opinions, you limit yourself. Removing their influence means listening to your own judgment before listening to theirs. You decide your path. You decide your standards. You decide what is possible for you. Removing influences also includes letting go of old experiences that shaped doubt in your mind. Maybe someone underestimated you in the past. Maybe you failed at something important. Maybe you grew up in an environment where confidence was dismissed. These experiences can linger in your mind as quiet influences, whispering that you are not enough. But the past does not define your ability. It only defines your starting point. When you consciously let go of old stories, you create space for new beliefs to form. To strengthen your self-belief,
Surround yourself with influences that support your growth. Spend time with people who see potential in you. Consume content that uplifts your mind. Engage in habits that build discipline. Create routines that support stability. Speak to yourself with honesty and kindness. These influences reinforce your belief instead of weakening it. They remind you of your strength. They help you stay focused on your progress. You will notice that as you remove negative influences, your mind becomes clearer. You begin feeling more confident in your decisions. You start recognizing your strengths. You feel more capable of taking action. You stop doubting yourself so quickly. You begin to feel lighter, not because your life suddenly became easy, but because you removed the weight that was holding your belief down. Removing harmful influences is not about avoidance. It is about alignment. It is about choosing what supports your future over what keeps you anchored to a limited version of yourself. It is about taking responsibility for the energy you allow into your life. When you protect your self-belief, you protect your potential. You protect your goals. You protect your future. You deserve a life where your belief in yourself is strong. You deserve to wake up feeling capable. You deserve to pursue your goals without being held down by the negativity around you. The moment you stop allowing harmful influences to shape your mind, you reclaim your power. You begin moving with more confidence and fewer doubts. You begin trusting your path. You begin living as the person you always knew you could be. Your self-belief is the foundation of your growth. When you remove influences that weaken it, you create space for a stronger, wiser, and more determined version of yourself to rise.
Number 10. Hold yourself accountable to your chosen path. Holding yourself accountable to your chosen path is one of the greatest acts of personal responsibility you will ever take. It is the decision to stand behind the life you say you want, not just through words, but through actions that reflect your commitment. Accountability is not about guilt or pressure. It is about ownership. It is about recognizing that your progress, your discipline, your habits, and your future are shaped by the choices you make each day. When you hold yourself accountable, you stop waiting for someone else to save you, motivate you, or push you. You take the lead. You guide your own step. You follow the direction you set for your life with consistency and intention. Many people choose a path but never commit to walking it. They talk about their goals, plan their goals, dream about their goals. But when it comes time to take action, they hesitate. They wait for motivation. They blame circumstances. They blame people. They blame timing. But accountability means removing these excuses and accepting that your path will not move unless you move. No one can build your discipline for you. No one can achieve your goals for you. No one can make you consistent. Accountability is the realization that you are the main force behind your progress. Holding yourself accountable begins with clarity. You must know exactly what you are working toward. When your path is unclear, accountability has nothing to attach itself to. You need a direction, a purpose, or a goal that represents the future you want. Once you choose that direction, accountability becomes the daily reminder that your choices either support it or weaken it. Every task you complete strengthens your commitment. Every distraction you entertain pulls you away. Accountability keeps you aware of this difference. Another part of accountability is learning to measure your progress honestly. You cannot rely on feelings alone. Feelings change quickly. One day you feel motivated, the next day you feel tired or discouraged. But accountability gives you a structure to check your actions, regardless of mood. This could be a daily checklist, a journal, a progress tracker, or a simple review at the end of each day. Asking yourself what you did, what you avoided, and what you learned builds awareness. Awareness leads to improvement. Improvement leads to consistency. Consistency leads to success. Accountability also requires you to face your weaknesses without running from them. Many people avoid looking at their flaws because it feels uncomfortable. But accountability means acknowledging the areas where you fall short and working to correct them. If you procrastinate, you confront it. If you lack discipline, you build. If you get distracted easily, you create structure. If you lose motivation, you rely on your habits instead of your mood. Accountability turns weaknesses into responsibilities rather than excuses. If you say you will do something, you honor that commitment even when it's difficult. You create a strong sense of trust within yourself. Every promise you keep strengthens your identity. Every promise you break weakens it. Many people sabotage their own growth by breaking promises they consider small. But these small breaks create a pattern. Accountability means treating your word as valuable. It means following through not because someone is watching, but because you respect yourself. Holding yourself accountable also involves setting boundaries. A chosen path cannot be protected without boundaries. You must guard your time, your energy, and your focus. This means saying no to things that distract you. It means creating distance from people who interrupt your progress. It means limiting habits that steal your well-being. Accountability forces you to choose alignment over comfort. It reminds you that not everything deserves your attention, and not everyone deserves access to your goals. Accountability also transforms how you respond to obstacles. When you face a setback, accountability does not allow you to quit. It does not allow you to avoid responsibility. Instead, it pushes you to learn from the setback and keep going. You ask yourself what went wrong and what you can adjust. You search for solutions instead of blame. You continue forward because your path matters to you. This is what separates people who succeed from people who stay stuck. They do not avoid struggle. They grow through it. Another key part of accountability is consistency. Consistency is the heart of progress. It is not intensity that changes your life. It is the repeated effort over time. Accountability keeps you steady. It keeps you showing up. It keeps you grounded in action rather than emotion. You may have days when you move slowly, but accountability ensures you don't stop completely. Every step counts. Every bit of effort shapes your character. You also strengthen your accountability by surrounding yourself with the right influences. When you are around people who take their goals seriously, you naturally hold yourself to a higher standard. Their work ethic inspires you. Their discipline motivates you. Their progress reminds you that excuses do not build anything. Accountability grows in an environment that supports ambition. It weakens in an environment that normalizes laziness, gossip, and avoidance. Choose people who help you stay aligned with your path. Another important aspect of accountability is separating your identity from your mistakes. Mistakes are part of the process. They do not mean you are failing. They mean you are learning. Accountability is not about perfection. It is about correction. When you fall short, you do not shame yourself. You do not give up. You take responsibility and get back on track. This mindset builds resilience. Resilience keeps you committed even when the path gets difficult. You also hold yourself accountable by being honest about your time. How you spend your hours reflects your priority. If you consistently spend time on things that bring no value, you must confront that. If you waste hours on distractions, you must adjust. If you avoid the tasks that matter, you must question why. Accountability means taking full ownership of your day. Every hour is a vote for the life you are building. Make sure your votes align with your future. To strengthen your accountability even further, define the standards you want to live by. Standards shape your behavior. They represent the expectations you set for yourself. When your standards are high, your behavior rises to meet them. When your standards are low, your progress suffers. Accountability requires you to follow your standards even when no one is watching. This is where integrity grows. Integrity builds self-respect. Self-respect fuels motivation. As you continue holding yourself accountable, you will notice your path becoming clearer. You stop feeling lost because your actions support your direction. You stop doubting yourself because you can see your progress. You stop relying on luck because you rely on discipline. Your chosen path becomes part of your identity. You no longer chase your goals. You live them. This process is not always easy, but it is always worth it. When you hold yourself accountable, you build a stronger version of yourself. You stop running from challenge. You stop repeating old patterns. You stop settling for less than you deserve. You rise into the life you want because you take responsibility for every step. You deserve a life where your actions match your ambition. You deserve to follow a path that represents your value. You deserve to trust yourself fully. Accountability gives you that trust. It gives you the structure, clarity, and consistency needed to build a meaningful life.
Your chosen path becomes powerful the moment you take full responsibility for walking it. And when you do, you become unstoppable.